So this is where I'm at. It's the back of a horse ranch, but so we're gonna go prowl around in the dirt a little bit. We will see what's there. So today is a possible relic hunt slash who knows. Saw a flat spot and oak trees with damage around their bottoms, which can be a sign of road or animal or nature. Not a signal to be had, and that represents about 3 hours of searching. So we're getting up onto terrain that probably never had anything on it. I'm going to check a couple more flat spots and that'll be that. It's bed springs and bones. Probably deer bones. Yeah. And I think right around here in the distance there's shards on the ground of porcelain or pottery. Okay, well I say we switch on because I see metal everywhere and it actually does look old. So right on and look in the creek or the wash or whatever you want to call it. So yes, there are square nails everywhere. But with that being said, let's look around a little bit because yeah, that puts us back a little ways. Could mean anything. And yeah, the shards are here, but they're fine and widespread. Yep. Not so old later. I guess we'll do a little circle here. Hey, that's higher end. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Well, that's hopeful right there. As I go up the slope. See, these look more stamped out, I would believe, although the heads look, I think that's just from being mashed in or whatever. So they're square, but they're not ancient square, but they are square. They might not have been individually made, is what I'm trying to say. And I can't stop just eyeballing around. And today we are using this shovel. It's a cut down trenching shovel. I like it because you get the depth of a shovel, but the skinniness of a trenching shovel, that's why they make them in the first place. The kick of it, that little angle right there, means that you always have your fulcrum point built in. The little thing that you stick under a lever to pry, you know, you always have that already. So it pops a nice plug, and I got that design straight from Aquachigger is his channel, and that's his design for sure. And we have the Garrett AT Pro, so all-terrain proportionate audio. Garrett, it's underwater, over water, on land, all that. Mid-range price, and not a bad machine at all. And we have the headphones on, we're going to turn it on. I got the coil on the ground because there's not a whole lot out here. And let's see, yeah, I am going to start off in coins because why not? No, actually, let me see, let's switch mode to proportionate audio custom, pro custom. For me, I have the iron discriminated, meaning my machine won't make a noise for most iron signals unless they are large or round, and fool it by being round. My sensitivity, I'm going to leave down a couple notches in case there's a bunch of stuff in the ground so that it can distinguish between objects that are close in proximity better. And we have a lot of battery on there. And I'm reading all other metals besides iron turned up, or I guess basically toned out as much as I can, so it's discriminating against it. And yeah, we're gonna roll. I'm gonna ground balance it. So I'll try and find a spot that's not making any noises. And then till it's not making any noise anymore and let off. And then that lets it get used to any minerals that might be in the soil already, so that it won't read those. It'll only read dropped objects and stuff, hopefully. As I'm saying this all to you, I'm looking down in my eyeballs, or just looking at shard after shard, and nail after nail after nail after nail laying on the ground. So, evidence of a structure for sure. And we're in a type of poor soil, low nutrition, to where not a lot of topsoil has built up because of ground cover and plants and stuff dying and decaying. So basically there's not much stuff burying all of the targets. Nice piece of red glass. Looks like it was painted and not real red glass. And this is our first target, which was making a high noise. Even though it's iron, it was flat enough and small enough to trick it. Give enough of a signal back with the waves to make it think it was a coin. Okay. On to better things. We are following the shards, and we did just get something with the name. Probably Imperial Parisian Granite. And then the logo. Not bad. Back at these bushes here, I'll clean that up a little bit for you. Oh, it's wiping clean. Yeah, I don't know what it says on the bottom there. But nice little scroll work. A round bolt. Huh. I'm not doing a whole lot of live digs right now because I'm still exploring around trying to figure out the sound of stuff here. These are two really small little tack square nails. And then this, which is purple glass, turned kind of purpley in the sun, but it would have been a labeled medicine bottle with a square shape. Let me show you. I'm digging deep down, and in the ground it's covered in, you know, aged glass, and with the broken nails and square nails and teeny tiny square nails are coming like rounded nails with barbs. And I forget what those are, but those aren't super old. I remember what those are. They're another type of nail, but all those have this little hole right here. Gosh. We got a target, but it was the well-aged, used to be paper-sided shotgun shell. Woohoo! 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 Couldn't tell if it's a large bird or a fox or a coyote chirping along as it goes. It's all good. We're down by the watering hole. This is the wet crease that runs through this field with overgrown bushes, so but what I just got is pretty old. That might be rock. That's definitely, you know, really old pottery. Different sizes and shapes. And this was the signal that I chased out of it. And it looks to me, well, it has a little bit of silver color. Oh! And yeah, it looks like maybe horse tack, or it's got some weight to it. It's metal. It's round. Could be old. It's definitely, look at the detail. It was on something where it got beat and scuffed and all that before it went into the ground. Could have been anything though, you know. That's basically a dude. It could have just been a stud on any boot or anything really. This is very nearly impossible here, and I still can't put together what might have happened to my Garrett. I mean, what might have happened here, or what this might have been. So the spread is huge. It goes through all these meadows. There's nails every 3 inches of all sizes, shards, and not much else. Okay, got one probably piece of suspension. I nicked it there, and then 2 more square nails out of that hole. And no matter what I have it set in, it's just a chattering away. There's so much stuff here. I'm working down the little creek, and yeah, little flat pieces of decayed iron of all sorts mixed in with it. So we shall see. I'm just listening for things that sound good and then digging them, even if it's just a mixed up signal, because those 3 things laying together are going to give you a mixed up signal. Okay, I have fallen back to going analog. I'm just using the Garrett AT pinpointer and kind of working my way up this little ravine here, or ditch, whatever you want to call it. And there's so much metal that the thing with discrimination is really having a hard time. So I'm going to switch it off to save some battery. Pop the headphones off to let the ears rest, and just going to kind of work our way up, starting at this little hole where there's so many little signals. And I mean, the pieces of metal are heavy and old, and mostly nails so far. So with that being the spread, I'll hope for something besides square nails and see what we get. Okay, so this is what we've got out of this little hole. Here's the pinpointer for depth, and I'm digging down and kind of out, and I don't have the sharpest edges on it, but we know that there's debris all over the surface, and so now I was just kind of wondering how deep it goes. Now, this isn't a true flat field pit because you have slope erosion sliding downhill, especially with water flow, so stuff gets tumbled and buried. But I just wanted to do the same thing that you would do anywhere else, which is kind of do it by layer of strata. And so on top was the nails and all the white shards we're seeing. As I got down, I actually found a couple of these, so we could say maybe that was a milk jug. And you can see it's pretty early on. You could see it had an applied top, most likely. It was really hand blown. See the little stripes in it, the bubbles and stuff. And we get down into some, not only aged into rainbow, but like it's black, like that brown that is almost black. And then little pieces of metal, and that's about it. And at some point here, if we bottom out and there's no signals, then we know this is a pretty shallow spread field, and that at least gives us one more bit of data. So, and I'm kind of placing these in order of last found, you know, to most shallowest, so that represents depth that way. So 7 to 8 inches down, no more signals, at least in that spot. And if we had gridded this off somehow, even with just your basic edge string between 2 permanent markers, we could at least measure off of that and know where the depth was here. But we're not doing that type of investigation. We're just going, okay, that pit, that mini trench, that's what was in it at that depth. And since I haven't been able to figure out a whole lot today, and don't know what's going on with this side exactly, I think I'm going to leave these pieces that we've gathered in this pit. I'm going to close it back up to restore it how I found it. And the iron nails I'm actually going to keep. I keep all the square nails, saving them up, hoping to give them to a carpentry friend of mine. I was thinking building stuff out of reused wood, as he does. He might appreciate a cleaned up jar of square nails. So there's a birthday gift for you, you know, for all the metal detectorists out there. Save up your square nails and a little bit of buffing and some oil, and they're ready to go again. And they sure look good in wood. This is here. I'll put a rock that's obvious to me. If I have some brainstorm and I'm like, okay, I need to know where that is, I'll know where it is. Otherwise, as the centuries roll on, and this goes from 100 years old to 200, 300 to, well, it can get as old as the earth, you know. That'll be there and add to the story of this better than I could with my paper and film and silicone and such. So that's my choice on that one. Okay, got this, which is pretty darn old, so it shows that we might just be dealing with a really, really old site where they didn't have much. This is their fork. It was iron. It looks like it only had 3 prongs on it, which would put it way back, you know. And then if this is some of the newest stuff, or these center fires, then this might have been something that was gone, you know, that was drying up in the 40s or something. So that would be my best guess. Got a piece of the hinge. So the hinge will stay, the nails will go.